Hi, Cancer and Cancer Rising. Here's your horoscope for June 2024. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, we have a big month ahead. This is because the second half of this month, quite a few planets are going to build up in the first house. But prior to that, this month, the beginning of this month, there's a lot to think about. A lot of issues from the past that are going to resurface. A lot of meditation, maybe spending a lot of time by yourself the first half of this month. This is because the Sun, Venus, and now Jupiter, which just entered Gemini on May the 25th, is now going through your 12th house. But we also have a new moon in Gemini. Mercury's going to enter Gemini as well. So we've got a lot of activity in this 12th house. Now, what does this 12th house represent? It represents isolation. It represents limitations. It represents the doorway to the spiritual realm. It represents working by yourself. It represents sort of the deeper psychological side of your spirit. And so you're going to be diving deep into these realms. And so, you're going to need to figure things out. And Gemini is all about curiosity. So this is going to be a month where, the first half at least, where you're doing a lot of processing of information. And so there's also going to be a couple of alignments to Pluto here in the 8th house, which even amplifies that even more, because Mars is going to leave Aries and going to go into Taurus in the 11th house, and it'll square Pluto in the 8th house. So there's a lot of thinking, a lot of processing, a lot of figuring out that's going to be done the first half. The second half of the month, after the 21st, when the Sun enters Cancer, now the planets start building in your first house of identity and self, but it's also the house of motivation. So you'll feel much more motivated the second half of the month. Okay? So let's dive in a little deeper and see what we find here. So remember, this reading is for anyone who has a Cancer rising or a sun sign Cancer. It's a general Western astrology tropical reading. Okay, it's a very general sun sign reading because I don't have everybody's birthday, and everyone's birth chart and birthday is different. So their alignments are all going to be different. So this has to be a very general overview. But on the second day of June, we have Jupiter in Gemini trining, which is very favorable to Pluto in Aquarius right there. So we have one favorable alignment that's occurring here. And this could be very profound. You may have very strong visions. You may have a sense that something is coming. You may have a sense of something from the past, because both houses, the 12th and the 8th, also represent the past. But again, it could be in a dream. This is the house of dreams as well. This is the deepest psychological side of our reality. So you're going to feel a lot more sensitive than normal this month. So I want you to pay attention to that, because it's going to be, the energy, as you know, is coming in very strong from the galactic center and whatever else, and whatever other energies coming in from space, especially with the solar flares that are going on. It's making us more sensitive, but at the same time, it's making many people more intuitive. And so we need to listen to that intuition. And it's not necessarily with the mind. It's with just a feeling, a sense of knowing. And Cancers are very good at sensing things, and not necessarily processing information, but sensing. So trust your instincts as we begin the month, because there's going to be some information that comes to you that's going to be very relevant. Mercury enters Gemini on the 3rd, increasing that mental side of our lives. Mercury is natural in Gemini, so naturally we want to process more information. But I would suggest for you Cancer and Cancer rising folks, before you go to sleep at night, maybe say a little meditation about something you want to see or know about, and your consciousness will guide you in some way, and it'll show you that in a dream, in a vision, or throughout the day as you're awake. So this is more processing of information. This is more trying to grasp things and the curiosity level. You may start having dreams that are unusual and weird. That is totally normal, because once you leave this physical realm of consciousness, it starts getting weirder and weirder. That's just how it works. And so this is going to enhance your curiosity level quite a bit with Mercury in Gemini. The new moon is also in Gemini at 16 degrees, and it's going to be conjunct Venus. So at this point, you may be thinking a lot about a relationship from the past, or all kinds of past life issues may resurface at this time involving relationships from the past. Because not only is the new moon in the 12th house, it's also squaring Saturn, which is karma. And so you may find yourself like knowing I was in this relationship with this person from the past, or the current person I'm with now. I know I've had this past life in this country, that kind of stuff. Now, because it's a new moon, the next 2 weeks from this new moon, you may find yourself wanting to start new projects or endeavors, maybe a money-making opportunity. Maybe you're starting a new friendship or a new business endeavor. I would say just take it slow. Don't rush into anything, because this is a little bit of a rough alignment. So you don't want to, jump into anything right now. It's not the greatest new moon for long-term relationships. Okay. It's more about the past. It's more about friendships and acquaintances than anything else. The Mars enters Taurus, finally leaves Aries in the 10th house, now enters the 11th house. The 11th house has to do with the hopes and wishes for the future. It has to do with acquaintances, friendships, organizations, charities, marketing, community. And so Mars in Taurus can make you a little bit more friendlier. Mars in Taurus tends to slow us down a little bit too. Like Mars in Aries is get up and go, but Mars in Taurus is like, I'm going to take my time and get it done, and it'll be okay. It's a slower energy. But it's a favorable one for a Cancer or Cancer rising, because it's in the sign of Taurus. Taurus and Cancers generally get along, so the energy is favorable in a sense. The only downside to this Mars is it's going to meet up with Pluto right there. And so a couple of days later, as it begins to square Pluto, this is restless energy. Anytime we have Mars squaring Pluto, this could bring in tension, friction, obsessiveness, irritability, feeling like something's wrong, and it's just a restless nature. Okay, so be careful about this, especially having to do with other people, friendships, groups, organizations, things you're affiliated with, community. Okay, at least for, I say, from the 9th all the way through about the 14th or so, until Mars starts moving away from Pluto. There's this tricky energy that's in the air. And so don't take it personally, okay, because everyone's going to feel it on some level. But I'm just indicating the areas. Could be psychological, could be financial. Taurus rules money and finances. So when we have Mars in Taurus, there's a lot more thinking about money matters and financial stuff. And so we're all chasing more money, or worried about money or bills or whatever it is. That could be investments too. So this is always about that. Also, Taurus is about values. So what is it that you value about yourself? What is it you value about others? And that is also something that gets brought to the table. Taurus is also the physical side of life, so there may be not just feeling more sensitive, but also the physical side of life, owning furniture, owning a car, a house. All of this stuff falls under that umbrella when we have Mars in Taurus. Now, everything starts to change for you guys on June the 17th when Venus enters Cancer. So Venus in Cancer now will make things more favorable for you guys in terms of attracting other people, wanting things to come your way, feeling more, physically attractive in some way, or magnetic. Venus is very magnetic, and here it is in the first house. But we also have Mercury around the same time entering the first house. Now, Mercury doesn't do that great in Cancer, because one is a sensitive sign, the other one is a mental sign. So what happens is it's difficult for Cancers to express what they feel or sense sometimes. But Venus is there also. This could have something to do with a partnership or a relationship that you'll need to express yourself to. Could be a family member as well. Cancer is very family oriented. So this could be part of the equation as well. So right around this time, the 17th, energy starts to move in a favorable direction, especially on the 20th and 21st when the sun enters Cancer. Now you have the energy of the universe at your back now. So this is going to help you quite a bit. And so now you're feeling motivated. I got to do, I got to go, I got to create, I've got to try. And I highly encourage it, because these planets are also making favorable alignment to Mars. As you can see, they're 9 degrees. As you can see there, 5, 8, they're going to be coming in and making an alignment to Mars. So this could be very favorable for many of you. So take advantage of opportunities that come your way. The next day or so, The full moon is in Capricorn, your opposite sign, 7th house. So what we're looking at here is the sun opposing the moon. It's going to be at 1 degree of Capricorn, so wherever that is in your actual birth chart, that's the energy that gets lit up. And so issues with a relationship, something from the past, something to do with another person or an organization may be brought to front and center here, okay, which is totally normal. And, since it's happening right around the sun going into Cancer, it may have something to do with your self-worth and a relationship that got away, or maybe there's somebody in your life that, you're realizing it's not really going too far and you're just, running the course. Could have something to do with a parent as well. Cancer is associated with the mother. Capricorn is associated with the father. And so it could have something to do with that as well. And maybe a sense of direction with a partnership. I'm not sure where it's going, that kind of thing. And last but not least, we have Saturn right here going retrograde for the next 4 months. Not a big deal. It's more of a going within ourselves and figuring things out, where we want to go, what we want to do, which is totally normal in the 9th house. But still pay attention to the dreams and the visions, because it could come through anytime, especially being overly sensitive with all these energies here in the 1st house. Okay, so not a big deal. Anyway, there you have it. Stay tuned for an important special offer that I'd like to share with you. Have a great month, and I will talk to you guys soon. Hi, thank you so much for watching my monthly astrology. I really appreciate your support over the years. Have you ever considered learning astrology? Well, you're in luck, because I've created a full online astrology course in my private community. It's a full 6-module course that takes you from the beginning of astrology, what it all means, the mythologies, the houses, all the way to the more advanced techniques such as progressions, solar returns, how to read transits, how to make predictions. It's all there in this course here. And I even dive into some of the mysterious stuff, what some of the symbolism is all about. So I think you might want to check it out if you're interested. Along with the course, we have a very tight-knit community here where everyone helps each other out. And so if someone knows a lot about astrology, they help other people with astrology. So it's a community that really gets involved and, really wants to learn and help each other out. But as you can see here, I have a whole lot more on this private community. I also have the Inner Circle live calls each week. Now, this is something that I do twice a month on YouTube, but here I do them on a weekly basis. And I talk about various topics. You get to ask me questions, we interact, and we learn a whole lot more than just astrology. So this could be anything from astrology to what's going on in the world, predictions, politics, whatever it is. We talk about it in the Inner Circle calls. Of course, I do have videos here that I do not have on YouTube, so you get those too. And then I've got a private resource vault, which has videos that I suggest watching, books suggested reading, meditations, and more. So if you're interested in learning astrology or want to be part of a great community that's really growing fast, head on over to the link down below and click on the link and join today. All right? Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.